Good morning to everyone. My name again is Joseph Boateng, CEO of Silverline Realty and Investment Limited. Me de brofo any tree ebefrafra send ebeya omo nti tree no betumi enya a bit of what we are discussing today. I'm the CEO of Silverline Realty and Investment Limited, and as we have already discussed, or we have been sharing to you, we want to bring light the problems concerning land litigations in Ghana and how to curb them. There are a lot of charlatans in the system who are using who are using cunning ways to deceive people, to scam them and fraud them of their hard-earned monies. Land has become a fixed asset, or any form of investment that whoever is willing to make an investment, I think that will be the first decision or the first option for anybody who would want to make any form of investment. And because of this cause, there's been huge number of people who are on a regular basis looking for lands and then also at the same time selling lands. Once you have made your mind or you have taken the decision to invest in real property or in landed property, there are steps that you need to take, or there are procedures that you need to follow to make sure that you reduce every risk to the barest minimum as far as land investment or land acquisition is concerned. And we are here to also assist you through all these processes. And like I said, my name is Joseph Boateng. I represent Silverline Realty and Investment Limited. You can like and click the notification bell so that whenever we put out videos, you can be notified and go and watch. You can also subscribe to our channel and share to friends so that they can also take part in this opportunity that we are sharing. Okay, so today the topic that we are going to discuss is land registration in Ghana. Our previous episode, we discussed procedures to take when buying lands. After buying the land, what do you do? So today we are discussing land registration in Ghana, and out of this topic we have taken 7 key steps or 7 important steps that we want to share with anybody who would love to invest in land, whether for the purpose of building your residential abode or for business. That's either for commercial or social, either for church, whatever. I think these steps goes for almost everybody. And the first step, we all know that land is a valuable asset to own in Ghana, not in Ghana alone, Africa and across every part of the world. It's a very valuable asset, and every investment, depending on the interest value or the interest margin, comes with huge risk. And land, I can say, is the best investment that would give you, or that could give you the highest interest that you would want to get in any investment. In this note, it can also be the very dangerous venture for anybody to get into. Looking at all the disadvantages and the demerits surrounding land investment, like litigations, landing in the hands of scammers, documentation issues, permit processing issues, and a whole lot. So our first key, you would go to the checks. That's the pre-purchase step or pre-purchase decision. You need to do your search or your checks. How do you do your checks? That's the due diligence aspect. We have already discussed that. So first of all, you need to decide on one, where or what you need the land for, or the purpose why you are acquiring the land. That would give you the informed decision to go through the other steps. So once you have known your purpose, then you look at your budget and the location. After getting your location, if you talk of search or checks or due diligence, there are a whole lot of decisions to take as far as this particular step is concerned. Checks varies depending on one, the size of the land, or two, the purpose, and then who is doing the checks, and then also how much you are willing to spend in your checks. Right, it varies depending on the person involved. So checks, number one, you need to, the most important point, one, if you've not engaged or if you've not done any land investment before, the first point of call or the first advice I would want to give is, one, consult a land lawyer or somebody who has in-depth knowledge or who has detailed information about land investment or land documentation. So for me to, or the easiest way, consult a land lawyer. I know lawyers are lawyers, but we have land lawyers who have who are well versed in land acquisition processes. They would, I think, take you through the process as far as the investigation issues are concerned. Then after doing your investigation, that is checking to see that the person selling the land to you has valuable or valid documents. Number one, you do your land search to confirm the documents that you've gotten from whoever is selling the land to you. That is the Lands Commission or the Surveys Department or the Land Registration Division. There's a search to ascertain or to confirm the ownership of the seller. That is one step. And then after confirming the ownership, then you proceed to the town and country planning or to the assembly's zoning committee that is responsible for the zoning in the area where you are acquiring the land, to make sure that, one, either the land that you are willing to buy is not one state land, or two, it is not in a proposed road or not in waterway or not in any state proposed acquisition for maybe some government project or something. There might be some land that government is willing to acquire, but it is not registered yet. So the development authorities can brief you or can notify you that, okay, this land that you are willing to acquire, though it is good, but it is in the plans of the government to acquire for a specific project, so that you don't end up buying land that at the end of the day you would lose your investment. Acquisition and negotiation, that is the second step. Acquisition and negotiation. After doing all your checks to confirm the ownership of the land, now the next thing is for you to negotiate. Negotiation is one key point. If you are not a good negotiator, or if you don't have a negotiating power, cheating can happen here. It's either you cheat the owner or the owner cheats you. That is part of investment. So why is negotiation so important? If documents are good and you are certain that what you are going for is good, why is negotiation so much important? Remember that what you are doing is investment, and every investor wants profit or gains. So if you are not able to negotiate well, at the end of the day your profit margins will eat into the budget. So for instance, a land that will cost about 40,000 Ghana cedis, or let's say $10,000, if you are able to negotiate very well up to about $7,000 or 30,000 Ghana cedis, then you should know that the margin or the difference, almost 25% that has gone off the principal price, has become part of your profit. That is why negotiation is so much important. Sometimes you buy a product from the market and you realize that the price that you even bought from the market is even higher than the market value. So at the end of the day, you may not be able to even sell to get the returns that you are looking for. So negotiation is very much important, and always be advised to negotiate with the owners. Number 3, we go to document endorsement. Document endorsement. After negotiating with the seller, now we come to documentation. So let's say after negotiation you've made payment. Today we are not going to processes as to how you could acquire land, but we are going to the registration process. So most of the processes I want to skip them until we get to the most important part. So we come to the document endorsement. That is the third option, or the third step. After making payment, you are expected, or you should expect, to get the indenture, which is the key document that we are looking for. So if you can zoom for us, the key document that you are looking for, that is the indenture. This indenture supersedes any type or any form of indenture that you acquire along the line or during the process, the purchase processes. We have the receipts. You may decide to go into a sales condition agreement with the seller, but in all, this is your indenture. That is the ownership document, and this supersedes any form of document that you are going to get from the seller. In this case, this is the document that you are going to register. So your main focus should be on the indenture. Ideally, requirements as far as the document is concerned, for you to be able to register land, you need to get at least 4 copies of the indenture, either a lease, conveyance, or assignment, whatever. Today we are not going into that. So you are expected, or you are to get at least 4 copies of this document, which is the indenture. That is what the commission or the land registration division is going to require from you. After getting the indenture, always try to get backup copies. Always try as much as possible to get backup copies, apart from the 4, because the commission, you are submitting all the 4 to the commission. So aside the original 4, always try to get backup copies. That is at least 2 or 3. Your lawyer can get a copy. Yourself, you can have a copy at home, and then if your workplace is also safe for you to keep documents, you can also save a copy at your workplace or in the office, so that tomorrow you can be sure that whenever a copy is misplaced, you can always get evidence of your documentation. And after getting this indenture, please be sure of the endorsement. Be sure of the endorsement. We have the cover page, which is basically what do you call it, the title of the document that you have. That is the indenture between the seller and the buyer. And then we have the date. The date is very much important. We have the date. And then the first page, which is the most important part, that describes the conditions and then other covenant conditions that you went into with the seller. And then the most important part, which is the endorsement side. Always be sure that the seller has endorsed his side of the indenture. That is either the sublessor or the lessor or the assigner. Always be sure that they have sealed. If it's an individual, he has signed or thumb printed. If it's a family or a company, be sure that after the signing or the thumbprint or the sealing, you also have the endorsement stamp for the family or for the company that is selling the land to you. And then after that, we have principal witnesses. It can be one, it can be two or more. Apart from the one that is selling or the lessor, we have principal witnesses involved in this transaction. And there is one thing, you see, when you look at the witnesses very well, we have first witness and the second witness. Always, after the first, this goes to the sellers. You, the buyer, be sure that the first witness or the first principal witness for the buyer, after signing the witness part, there is a side which is the deponent. The deponent option at the oath of proof. The first witness is to endorse this particular portion to make sure that your document is valid for registration. If any of this is not done, please, you can't go through or you cannot start the registration process. So this is very much important. So after getting the seal and the signatures of the seller, the buyer too is expected to sign, which is the lessee's part, and also the witnesses. It can as well be one or two or more, depends on what you prefer. That is the third part of it. Now we have discussed the witness side. Always be sure that either side, which is the seller and the buyer, has their witnesses sealed or their witnesses are signed in case of any issues tomorrow. Now we come to the lands commission, which is the main part of our discussion, which is the fifth option. Remember, the third option was document endorsement and the fourth was the witness. Now we come to the fifth, which is the land commission processes. The land commission processes. Now, after getting your document, the Lands Commission, before they accept your document, it goes through two important stages before Land Commission would see your document as valid for registration. The first option is the court stamping. The first option is the court stamping. The court stamping, the main purpose of the court stamping is for the court to validate the document or the agreement that you have gone into with the seller. What is validate? First of all, they go through, that the solicitor of the Supreme Court will go through the document to make sure that, one, there are no clauses that violate the lease conditions or the conveyance law. That is number one. And then number two, there are also no conditions that will also go beyond the powers of either the seller or the buyer. And then again, spelling mistakes and misconstrues or misinterpretations of some of the covenant conditions. So that is the work, or that is the purpose of the endorsement of the solicitor of the Supreme Court. And then after that, the court will validate the document, making it a legally binded document. So after getting your legally binded document, it doesn't cost that much. For a plot of land, shouldn't cost you more than 100 cedis for all these endorsements that I'm talking about. So you can see it doesn't cost that much. So after getting your document sealed by the solicitor of the Supreme Court and then also stamped by the High Court of Ghana, now you move to the Internal Revenue Service. which is the tax. This purpose is just like buying a car or importing a car from outside and paying duty on it. What is the duty? The duty is like a tax that you are paying on the land that you have purchased. And if the land is, let's say the land was 40,000 Ghana cedis, you are paying a small percentage of the value of the land to government as your tax. If you don't go through this process, there is no way you can start the registration process. So this, we call it the stamp duty. The stamp duty is the job of the Ghana Revenue Authority or the Internal Revenue Service. So you pay, you get your tax clearance certificate. You get your tax clearance certificate to proceed to the Lands Commission for registration. And now, that is the 6th part. And now we have the 7th part, which is the last part, which is the deed registry. Now the deed registry, formally, the registration processes, the payment, at every stage that you get, you pay the official fees. So for instance, after paying your tax, when you move to yellow card, you pay the fees that is required for you to get your yellow card. When you move to plotting, you pay the fees that is required for plotting. When you move to publication, you pay the fees. So it is in stages. But now, so many things has changed. So many things has changed. There are people who pay at one stage, and then the commission will finish whatever they want to do for them. Then they keep the document, they don't process. This is one of the main factors that is contributing to some of our litigation issues. So now there are a whole lot of changes at the commission, which I commend very well. So what happens is that immediately you start the registration process, your document is assessed, and then you are given a full bill from start to finish. All the processes that is required for you to get your land title certificate, that is processing to get your logment numbers or your yellow card, and then also plotting, publication, site inspections, and then your land title certificate. All of them are consolidated, so you pay it once, then you know that your document, you don't owe anybody at the commission. So all what you need to do is to make follow-ups to check where your document has gotten to. And then also we have the new digital system where you are required to create an online account. The online account, so that you can be able to track the levels or the stages of your registration at your convenience, either on your smartphones or on your computers, to make sure that you are on track, so that you don't land in the hands of guru boys and middlemen who will always be deceiving you. Today your document is here, meanwhile they've not even started the project. Land registration is very easy, but very tedious and very much of a job. It requires people who are willing to do. If you are willing to invest, or if you are willing to take stake in any portion of land in Ghana, please be ready to protect and secure your investment. If you invest without thinking about security, then I'm afraid your investment is of no need. Okay, so again, my name is Joseph Boateng. This is a short process that we've taken you through the land registration process. I represent Silverline Realty and Investment Limited. Silverline is a registered entity. We are here to serve you with registered litigation-free plots, land registration assistance, architectural designs, land advisory services, permit processing assistance, everything that you need to do, or every stage in your property acquisition steps, Silverline is there to assist you from start to finish.